Hi YouTube. Just want to share this issue that I have with my Solaredge inverter. So I had this inverter probably for about 6 months or so, and recently, well, just this morning actually, I noticed that it's not generating any power, and I checked it out. It's actually going into a loop showing isolation fault error, and it's not waking up, so it's just going loop-de-loop, isolation error, and it's going to waking up again, isolation error again. You'll see in a few seconds here the type of loop that is going to, and the screen turns off, so I didn't actually notice, and there is no fault. Well, actually, I think the fault light does turn on. You'll see here, it looks like everything is good, and all of a sudden you have this error issue. It says isolation fault 18x86 isolation fault, see diagnostic menu, and the fault light is on momentarily, and this is going to go to the same cycle again pretty soon. Here is going to waking up mode, and this fault light turns off, so I didn't notice there's anything wrong until 24 hours transpired, and I noticed that my generation is way down. So there you go. It went to waking up again, and the fault light is off. That's why I didn't notice for more than 24 hours. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to go to the diagnostic menu right now, so that we can see more details about why this is happening, and then I will explain how to diagnose this problem and actually fix it, probably on the next video. I'm not sure, but let's see if we can look at the menu right now first. So you just press the up and down. So 123 123 12 is the password, and it goes in here. So we go to maintenance, and then we go to diagnostic to see in detail what is the problem with the isolation. So we go to isolation status, press OK, and as you can see, this has an isolation problem. This is right now at 332 kilo ohm, and normally this should show 11,000 kilo ohm. Ohm is resistance. So what we want to do is we want to have perfect resistance, means is the plus and the minus should not have any contact. They should be separated. In this particular case, it looks like I have a short, 99.9% short somewhere near the minus. So that's not good. So let me show you what it looks like on a normal inverter. So I have another inverter here. It's side by side, and this one is operating. As you can see, it's generating power right now. And if I go to the menu, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2, and I go to maintenance, diagnostic, isolation status. There you go. The isolation, sorry, is supposed to be at 50%, and the ohm is supposed to be at 11,000. So this is perfect. That means there is no short between your DC plus to DC minus incoming from your optimizer strings. So this is the way that it should be. Now back to the inverter that has a problem. As you can see, I just left it for a few seconds. Now it brings me back to this waking up state again. So this is completely pointless for it to keep trying and trying, but supposedly sometimes this problem can happen during the morning dew, where there's a lot of fog and there's a lot of moisture. That's why the inverter by default always keep trying, because there's possibility that as you continue and the morning dew and the moisture dries up, as it gets hotter during the day, this problem may go away and the inverter may actually turn on and produce power. But in this particular case, I don't think so. I think I really have some kind of issue in the ground that I need to take care of, and I am going to try to troubleshoot it and create another video to show you how to solve this issue. So please stay tuned, and if you know what, I'm just gonna put it in one long video, because I hate when I watch a particular video and then I don't know how to go to the next video to see for the result. So I'm going to show it to you next. So I'm gonna combine the video. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to find out what is causing the ground isolation issue that is showing on the Solaredge inverter. We're going to use a multimeter, and this is just a regular multimeter that I have, and each multimeter should have the ohm indicator or ohm measurement right here, OMH, that measure resistance. So the easiest thing to do is just to turn it on and switch it to ohm. And there's two leads here. One of the lead I just planted in the ground basically. So this is just bare ground, and just stab the lead just into the ground as deep as you can, just like that. And the other lead right here is where we're going to measure. We're going to put it at the cable to measure the resistance. So if the lead is not touching each other, the measurement is going to say OF. I think that's supposed to mean off range, which basically means that the resistance is so large that it's not being shown at all. If I touch, just say the ground right here, right next to it, so this is no more than about 2 feet away from each other, and you'll see that it's already measuring some kind of resistance. Means there is some connectivity between that lead and the ground that I'm stabbing the red lead or probe is at. If I touch something that is plastic, since plastic doesn't conduct, it doesn't do anything. But even if I touch like some leaves right here, you see I'm not stabbing anything, I'm just touching leaves. You'll see that it's very sensitive. It registers some type of connectivity. Okay, so we're gonna leave that black lead in there, and we are going to measure if there is any connectivity of any of these leads, the positive and the negative that connects to the optimizer, whether it has any connectivity to the ground. So if it registers OF, that's good. That means we have zero short circuit to the ground. And if it doesn't measure anything but OF, that means we have a problem. So this side right here is the positive side, and the positive side I have measured it, and it doesn't have any issue. But however, the negative side, as you can see, when I put in the negative there, it does show a problem. At the multimeter is showing some kind of conductivity. So I unplugged it from the optimizer, and here is the MC4 connector. And if I plug in the lead into the MC4 like that, I'm also registering some connectivity, which is not good. So the problem clearly lies in here, because I have already disconnected this particular connector right here. When I disconnected it, and I just measure if there is any conductivity from this cable that goes to the ground, I get zero conductivity, which means that the short is in this side of the cable that goes to the MC4 connector. So I'm going to disassemble the MC4 connector and see what's wrong inside. Okay, so I've just disassembled the MC4 connector. So basically this is the internal lead, and the boots are here and the connector is right there on the ground. So I am going to troubleshoot it by connecting my lead here just directly on this bare connector right there. And as you can, I'm not sure you can tell, there is actually, I'm trying to do this with one hand, it's not registering anything right there, OF, and the lead is connected. Well, actually, hang on a second, I think my hand is on it. I'm trying to get my hand off it and then do it with all together one hand. There it is. It's on the lead, it's on the cable, and the multimeter is registering OF, which means there's no short circuit just doing it this way. Well, actually I just twisted a little bit and it's registering some kind of connectivity just by me moving it around, so that's not good. I'm not sure where the problem is right now. See, there's no connectivity there, but I'm jiggling the cable around, and then sometimes it's just showing some conductivity. Okay, right now it's not registering anymore. So, and it's registering again when I move it around a little bit. Okay, I'm still pretty convinced that this connector is okay, and if the short circuit happens internally here. So I think this connector is wet, or something is going on with this particular connector right here. I figure out what's going on. So as soon as I put this particular lead right here into this connector, as soon as I put it in, you see that there's that metal, kind of like a metal collar. That metal collar is actually short-circuiting with something to do with the plastic, and that's causing an issue with the grounding. Actually figured this out, I think, finally, after messing with this for more than a few minutes, more than 15 minutes here. I figured out that it's actually dirt. So I've been neglecting this connector, just laying it on the ground for many months, just like that one right there on the ground, and it's been working fine, but it's been eventually catching up with me, and it's actually not a bad connector, it's the dirt. So there's a lot of dirt that eventually build up at the ends of the connectors here and here, so at the end right there. So every time I connect everything back, there is slight connectivity from all the dirt, even on the connector, etc., that is actually making some connectivity, and that is enough to be detected by the Solaredge inverter, because the inverter is that good at detecting the conductivity, just like the multimeter has. And once I clean it, it actually disappeared, or it's actually a lot better right now. Once in a while, when I jiggle the cable, it's still registering some conductivity, but mainly they're all gone. I'm going to clean it even better using paper towels, and I'm going to try to secure these connectors better, and then I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so I'm going to retest the line to make sure, so I'm going to turn it on. This is the input from the solar panels optimizers, so I'm flipping it upward. That will energize it, and over here I am going to start the pairing process. So the current position of the inverter is at the off position right there. So it's on the right side, off position. So I'm going to do the pairing. Actually, I'm sorry. There's already 12 inverters paired, and yeah, I don't need to do any pairing because there is no change in the actual configuration of the equipment that is on this inverter. So all the optimizers are still the same. Now all we have to do is wait until the number of optimizers, right now is just 3 out of 12, until a lot of them are detected. I think a minimum of 8 per string. Once that's detected, this voltage should be moving upward. Well, actually, let me just turn it on. That would help. Such an idiot. Sorry about that. All right, so once I turn it on, this voltage is gonna start cranking up because the inverter sends a signal to the optimizers that that is ready to turn on. So this voltage is gonna go up to like about 350, and it's gonna go back down usually. There you go, it's going back down. It's just giving a signal or something like that. And then now it's going through this wake up process. I'm going to pause the video and come back because this waking up process takes 5 minutes, which is way too long to wait. Okay, we're down to just the last 10 seconds of the waking up process. And if this goes well, we should not see any fault error or isolation fault anymore. And okay, that sounds really good. You hear that? Those are relays clicking on. That means that everything was checked out, because after the waking up, the Solaredge inverter always check if there's any isolation fault, if there's any short circuit to the ground. And the fact that it did not find it and it start turning on all those relays is a good sign. That means that we are producing power right now and we are back. And fortunately, not all my optimizers are actually on and detected. It's only 9 out of 12, and it may take a few more minutes for some of these communications. You can see now is 10 out of 12. So as more comes on, my power is going to increase every time the communication light blinks. I think it's every 60 seconds. I'm not sure. See, it just blinked, but nothing is added. So give it a few minutes and it should be back to normal. Okay, we are now back to normal operation, completely 12 out of 12 and generating 1800 watts. That is out of 12 inverters, or 12 solar panels. And so right now I'm going to go to the menu, and then we're going to repeat the same process that the same display in the maintenance for diagnostic that I showed you earlier, so that you can see that we have fixed this problem, and it should be showing 50% diagnostic, and then you go to isolation status, and there you go, 50% right in the middle, 11,000 kilo ohm. This is what it should show in normal operation. That means you have 0 fault. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching this video. Sorry that it's kind of long. It actually took me a long time, a few hours, to figure out what is exactly wrong with my line. And I'm kind of still in testing mode. By no means that my actual installation of the solar panel being on the ground, coming out of a pipe, exposed to the weather, is the actual right way to do things. But it let me learn all the things that can go wrong with it. And this is a do-it-yourself project, obviously. I've learned a lot, and this is another step. The isolation fault was just a good learning experience, making sure that your line input, the DC voltage that can go up to 450 volts or so, that is very dangerous. It needs to be perfectly isolated, meaning it cannot be shorting with your ground. And the way to measure and fix that, obviously, with, as I showed you with the multimeter at the ohm measurement, any of the leads, comparing it to the ground, should not have any connectivity to the ground. And that's what the isolation fault error means. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to I try my best to answer it. And if you like this kind of video, I will be putting up more solar panels, Solaredge inverters, solar project type of video as a do-it-yourselfer. If you like this type of video, please subscribe and hit the like button. It helps me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers hopefully soon. And thanks for watching.